Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Simulan po natin ang makasaysayang pagkakataong ito sa pamamagitan ng isang panalangin. Tawagin po natin si Paring Albert Alejo para sa ating opening prayer.
Nagpupuri, Panginoon, ang iyong sambayanan. Umaapaw ang pag-asa sa pangakong kaligtasan, sapagkat pumili ka ng abang lingkod bayan, isang pinunong matapat at may paninindigan. Sa kanyang panahon, makararanas ng kaginhawahan ang isang bayang tumutupad sa iyong kalooban. At iyong ipamamalas ang lakas ng iyong bisig. Guguluhin mo ang maitim na balak ng malulupit. Bubusugin sa kasaganaan ng mga kapuspalad. Itataboy naman na walang dala ang mga nangulimbat. Patatalsikin mo ang mga sakim sa kapangyarihan at iaangat naman ang minamaliit na nasa laylayan. Hihilumin at aalalayan ng mga may karamdaman. Biktima ng dahas sa wakas ay dadanas ng katarungan. Panginoon, ilikha mo kami ng sangbagong puso. Hugasan ng kamay, nabasa ng dugo, linisin ng diwang, sa halay ay puno. Itindig mo kami, kaming iyong bansa. Itindig mo kami, kaming iyong bansa. Tibayan ng pasyang harapin ng daya, tatagan ng loob kahit nang hihina. Itindig mo kami, kaming iyong bansa. Tanghalin o lupa ang taong marangal. Tanggapin o langit ang taos kong dasal. Lipulin ang tanang gamang nagkamal. Likain mong muli bayan kong may dangal.
Nagkakasakit at naapektuhan ang kanilang mga kabuhayan.
Responsable pagpipina!
23 na malalaking minahan sa ating bansa ang ipinasasara na ng DNR. Unti-unti na rin kumakalat ang forest fire o yung sunog po sa bundok sa Bukod Benguet.
Mabilis ang pagtaas ng baha sa Rizal Avenue sa Arpapa sa boundary ng Maynila at Caloocan City. Kasabay naman ng pagragasa ng baha ay ang mga basura. Sa tala ng World Health Organization, 7 milyong tao ang namamatay kada taon dahil sa air pollution.
O bayan ko, kailan ka mamumulat? Ang toto'y nakikita na pumipikit ka pa.
Kailan pa, kapag wala ka nang magagawa, kapag wala ka nang ibubuga.
Wala ka nang ibubuga, o bayan ko.
Bayan ko, kailan ka matututo? Sadyang ikaw ang kalaban mo, ikaw rin ang susumpong.
Ngunit kailan, kapag wala ka nang magagawa, kapag wala ka nang ibubuga.
rami ng dugong inalay sa'yo. O bayan ko, ang oras ay malapit nang maubos. Bangon na, bumangon bayan ko. Kailan ka magmumula? Ang totoo'y nakikita na, umipikit na pa.
Ngunit kailan kapag wala ka nang magagawa, kapag wala ka nang
Oh, bayan ko, kailan ka tatayo? Kay rami ng tugong inalay sa'yo. Bayan ko, ang oras ay malapit nang maubos. Bangon na, bumangon bayan ko. O bayan ko, kung magkasama-sama, tinig na sabay-sabay, susunod ka, sugod na.
Isang mapagpalayang hapon po sa ating lahat. Naririto na naman po tayo sa isa na namang Tapatan Media Forum sa buwan ng Setyembre. Ako po si Attorney JP Calleja, ang inyong moderator for today. Excited po ako at may malaki tayong announcement sa Tapatan ngayong hapon na ito. Ia-anunsyo na po natin ngayon ang pangalan ng ating pambato sa 2022 elections at ang resulta ng ating selection process. Pero bago po yan, may hinanda po kaming video para sa inyo tungkol sa 1Sambayan at kung paano nabuo ang ating coalition. Panoorin po natin ito.
Hanap ng 1Sambayan ay tapat na pamumuno para may maayos na plano sa pandemic, para walang Pilipinong nagugutom. At gusto nating lahat ay may trabaho. Lahat may oportunidad, lalo na ang mahihirap. Lalong ayaw nating nilulustay ang pera ng bayan. Alam ng 1Sambayan na leader na tapat at may kakayahan ang kailangan ng bansa.
Ang pangalan ng grupo ay 1Sambayan at sa ilalim nito ay yung tapat na pamumuno at maginhawang pamumuno.
This group represents the democratic forces in the entire country.
Hindi na dapat pang maluklok sa pwesto sa 2022 ang sino mang kaalyado ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ayon sa koalisyong 1Sambayan. Si retired Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, chairman ng grupo, sinabing layunin nilang pag-isahin ang oposisyon.
Unless we are united, we cannot win in 2022. We have the majority, but the majority will become a minority if they are divided.
Kailangan mamili ng taong tapat at may kakayahan at alam ang problema ng bayan.
Hindi naman nagbigay ng klaro at konkretong direksyon para maibsan yung paghihirap ng mga Pilipino.
Hindi lamang po COVID ang nakakatakot. Nakakatakot din ang katiwalian.
Alam ng isang bayan kung gaano kahalaga ang role ng mga lingkod bayan.
Ang leader, yung maaaring tumayo, to stand tall despite power around you. Why? Because you have a heart to go. And this is what young people, that's what Filipinos are looking for. Sana makahasag tayo ng isang Pilipino na handang maglingkod ng buong-buo para sa bayan.
Bakit ba magkakaroon tayo ng pulso ng isang bayan? Bahagi ito ng proseso ng isang bayan para konsultahin ang taong bayan kung sino ba ang napupusuan nila na bubuo ng isang national slate para sa 2022 elections.
Single national slate plus official na listahan ng mga candidates ng isang bayan, pipili tayo ng mga pambato natin para sa presidente, VP, at 12 senators.
Wala pang opisyal na napipili pero nasa kanilang mga huling araw na raw ng kanilang screening para sa kanilang pambato sa darating na eleksyon ng grupong 1Sambayan. Bahagi niya ng pagsasagawa ng grupo ng isang internal survey.
So ngayon malaking hamon ang darating na eleksyon. Paano magkakasundo? Paano magkikita-kita, makakaupo ang mga may ibang alternatibo sa ginagawang pamamahala ng kasalukuyang administrasyon?
Nasa kamay nating lahat kung paano isasalba ang nag-iisa nating bayan.
Ang susunod na bahagi ng ating programa ay ang pagpapakilala sa ating mga conveners. Sino po bang mga conveners natin? Sila po yung mga taong masusing tumalakay at bumalangkas sa ating selection process para makarating tayo sa puntong ito. Mayroon po tayong 24 o 24 na conveners ang 1Sambayan. Kasama po dyan ang namayapa kailan lamang po ng ating kaibigan, si Mr. Ricky Javier. He is with us po in spirit dahil buhay na buhay ang mga adhikain niya para sa ating bayan dito sa 1Sambayan. Ipapakilala na po natin ang ating mga conveners. Unang-una po ay si Justice Antonio Carpio, tagapagtanggol ng West Philippine Sea. Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales. Ambassador Albert Del Rosario. Brother Armin Luistro, ang may pinakamaraming naitayong classroom sa Department of Education. Dating BSP Deputy Governor at kolumnista, Diwa Ginigundo. Former CHR Commissioner Eta Rosales, kampiyon ng karapatang pantao. Whistleblower at truth teller, former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. Dating Peace Process Advisor, Secretary Teresita Guindeles. Father Albert, Paring Bert Alejo, isang Makat, social anthropologist at paring Jesuita. Ambassador Makabanggit Lanto, Assalamualaikum po. Rear Admiral Romel Ong, retiradong opisyal ng Philippine Navy. Former Governor Rafael Lito Coscoluela. Former Congressman Antonio Tino. former Congressman Renato Magtubo. Attorney Howard Calleja, election lawyer at law professor. Dr. Leni Hara ng Health Alliance for Democracy. Professor Dindo Manhit, founder ng Managing Director ng Stratbase. Mr. Norberto Santiago ng Samahang Magdalo. Ms. Cherry Baruevo ng Solidarity of Oppressed Filipino People. Ms. Joanna Concepcion of Migrante International. Ms. Emeline Ligal ng Mindanao, Pakisama. And our youth conveners po, Ms. Rene Ko, UP Student Regent. Mr. Ryan Reposar of Just Vote RSVP. Jandel Roperos, NUSP President. Ayan po ang ating mga Isambayan conveners. Para po sa mahalagang pahayag natin ngayong araw, excited na po tayo lahat. Tawagin natin si Justice T. Carpio. Carpio, the floor is yours.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon to everyone. Isambayan is pleased to announce to the nation that it has reached a decision to endorse Vice President Leni Robredo as its presidential candidate.
Ang isa pong mabuting ina ay
for the May 2022 elections. Isambayan followed a rigorous process in reaching its decision. We consulted our local and foreign chapters, as well as our coalition partners, who together have over 3 million members. We based our decision on several criteria: integrity, competence, track record, patriotism, vision for our country, and winnability. We have chosen VP Leni based on this criteria. We therefore ask VP Leni to accept our endorsement to lead the Filipino people in these difficult times in our history. And we ask the Filipino people to join Isambayan in supporting VP Leni as the next president who will lead us in healing our nation, reviving our economy, generating employment, eliminating hunger, ending the wanton killing of fellow Filipinos, eradicating graft and corruption, defending our sovereignty and sovereign rights, strengthening our democratic institutions, upholding our civil liberties, and restoring our pride and dignity as a people. Isambayan is a microcosm of Philippine society. We represent all sectors of Philippine society: urban poor, labor, farmers, fisherfolk, students and the youth, small and big businessmen, private sector employees, retired military and government personnel, the academe, religious organizations, political parties from the left to the right of the political spectrum, and other non-governmental organizations. Despite our differences in social, political, and religious beliefs, we in Isambayan have come together and remain together to agree on one presidential candidate because we believe that the nation cannot survive another 6 years of gross mismanagement of the government and of the economy, plunder of public funds, violation of human rights, and destruction of our democratic institutions. If the diverse groups of Isambayan can remain united for national survival, so can the Filipino people unite in May 2022 to elect VP Leni as our next president. Thank you for your support. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Mabuhay tayong lahat.
ang isa pong mabuting ina ay naaasahan kahit anong panahon. Hindi po umaatras sa hamon.
Naririnig ko kayo, nakikita ko ang nakikita ninyo, at karamay ako sa frustrations, pati sa pangarap ninyo para sa bansa. Ano man ang tawag ng panahon, mukha mang imposible ang sitwasyon, kakayanin natin. Magtatagumpay tayo dahil iisang bayan tayo.
Despite the ugliness, I still think it has been a great honor and privilege to have been given this chance na makatulong. Nagkaroon ako ng kahit konti, nagkaroon ako ng platform to help. At the end of it all, mas marami pa din yung ipapasalamat.
Ayan po, exciting. Si VP Leni na ang pambato ng isang bayan. Officially po, marami na pong naghaka-haka, maraming hula-hula. Ngayon po, narinig na po natin si Justice Carpio na kumakatawan sa lahat ng conveners ng isang bayan. Alam ko pong maraming katanungan ng ating mga kaibigan sa media ngayong araw. Pero bago po natin buksan ang ating open forum, pakinggan po muna natin muli ang ating mga house rules. Para po sa mga katanungan, dalawang paraan po. Raise your hand at hintayin lamang tawagin ang inyong pangalan. O isulat lamang ang inyong mga katanungan sa chat box ng Zoom. Ang una po nating magtatanong ay si Miss Mara Cepeda ng Rappler. Miss
Hello, Isambayan conveners, Mara Cepeda of Rappler here. I have several questions. First, and I address this to any of the conveners who wish to speak. You have nominated VP Leni for president, even if she has not formally declared her presidential bid. Did she give any assurance, some sort of assurance to the conveners that she would be announcing her presidential run soon?
May we address that question to Justice Tony, our chair? Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. We have conveyed to VP Leni that we have chosen her as our candidate for president, and we expect her response anytime now. She is now in Bicol. She was on her way to Bicol when we made our decision. We expect to meet with her and explain to her why we have chosen her. And we hope that she will accept the challenge. And the filing of candidacy will be October 1 already, up to 8. So we expect her to give us her decision very soon. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But did she say, sir, to the conveners that likely the decision would be saying yes? Because of course, it's also a risk for Isambayan to be making an announcement today and placing your bets on, a very qualified candidate, but she hasn't announced her decision yet. And if, for example, for some reason she doesn't decide to run for president, what would be the next step for Isambayan? Will you be making another endorsement again, Justice?
Well, we expect her. We hope that she will accept our nomination. But as we said, if she declines, we will meet again. But that's for us, that should be a remote possibility, because she already said that she's willing to save the country from plunder, from dictatorship. She's willing to accept the challenge. Thank you.
So sort of saying in the categorical terms, I have two more questions, Justice. Conveners of Isambayan were reportedly divided in these past days between VP Leni and Mayor Isko Moreno. Perhaps, Justice and the other conveners, could you share some of the conversations you've had, how you ended up, weighing your options and ultimately choosing VP Leni over Mayor Isko Moreno, who has announced his presidential candidacy already?
Well, of course, you know that we have several criteria. We consulted our members. We had like a primary, and VP Leni emerged as the top notcher there. And we held discussions. We have a General Assembly composed of all our coalition partners, all the members of 1Sambayan, and we tried to get a consensus, but we were not able to get a consensus. But there was a preference, a majority for Leni. Under rules, that would issue would be thrown to the conveners, and the conveners would decide by majority. And we decided by an overwhelming majority. That's the most I can explain.
Okay. Justice, can you share yung bilang report nung sa conveners? Pwede po bang ma-share sa amin?
Well, we've decided not to give the exact number, but it was an overwhelming majority.
Okay. And finally, Justice, syempre ito po elephant in the room. Now we do have the possibility of VP Leni running in the same elections as Mayor Isko Moreno, Senator Manny Pacquiao, and even Senator Trillanes. And of course, Senator Ping was also among the people na pinagpilian ng 1Sambayan in your survey. So have unity talks failed? Kasi all of the possible anti-Duterte candidates are expected to be running in the elections.
Well, one of the reasons why we decided to make our announcement now is so that our voice can be heard also by the other candidates, that there's a big group of organizations that is backing Leni, and perhaps they can join us also. But of course, they have their right to proceed if they want to. But just to send a message that a big group has supported Leni.
Pero tuloy pa rin po ba, Justice, will you still talk to Mayor Isko, Senator Manny, Senator Ping,
Well,
Senator Trillanes?
as VP Leni said, the unity discussions will continue until the last minute. That means until October 8, or even up to November, when the last day for substitutions.
And Justice, final na po talaga, how about your vice presidential and senatorial slate? Paano na po ang selection process nito, and when can we expect 1Sambayan to name them?
Well, as we have explained, the vice president and the senatorial candidates will be chosen in consultation with our presidential candidate, because our presidential candidate is the lead in the unified ticket. So we have to consult with her.
Thank you so much, and good luck po sa 1Sambayan.
Thank you, Mara.
Thank you, Mara. Next po, we have Mr. Adrian Ayalin of ABS-CBN. Adrian?
Yes, good afternoon kay Justice or sa ibang conveners po. I understand overwhelming po yung ginamit na word ni Justice, but yun nga, merong mga hindi po pumoto kay VP Leni. With this, looking forward, magiging solid pa rin po ba ang 1Sambayan hanggang sa end po ba ay susupport yung mga bumoto sa ibang kandidato? Ano po yung aasahan namin?
Well, we have agreed that, of course, being a coalition, it's difficult to get unanimity, but we have agreed that the majority will prevail, and we will follow the majority rule because we are a democratic organization. That's how democracy works, and we hope that that in the end that will prevail.
Okay.
Siguro, pwedeng isa lang din. Yung tungkol sa survey, kasi ang isa rin sa criteria ng 1Sambayan, yung winnability or ability to win. Yung standing po ni VP Leni ngayon sa survey, ano po yung masasabi niyo doon?
Well, historically, those who were ahead in surveys at this time of the year lost the elections. So the surveys at this time of the year do not really reflect what will happen in the elections. The surveys that matter are the surveys sometime in February of next year. So very early yet. It's very early to rely on surveys right now. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Adrian. Next, we have Mr. Mick Flores of AFP. Mick?
Yeah, thank you. Justice, just to clarify, how would you now characterize Senator Manny Pacquiao and Mayor Isko Moreno, are they still considered a part of the opposition? And my second question is, what's your outlook in terms of further unifying candidates who have expressed interest to run for president and at the same time are critical of the president? Because the goal of Isambayan is to form a united slate and a single opposition candidate.
Well, we live in a democracy, so we really cannot prevent anyone from running for president. But all we can do is to persuade, because we are a very big coalition, and to show to them that we have a big group that's supporting one candidate, and maybe you can reconsider, because if you run, you will probably be getting votes away from our candidate. The unity talks will continue even as we have chosen VP Leni already, and that's very clear. The unity talks continue up to now.
Justice, when do you plan to announce the other candidates that you will be endorsing, Vice President and the Senatorial slate?
Well, we will be meeting with VP Leni to consult her on that. We have actually drawn up a list. We have included these senatorial candidates and vice presidential candidates in our survey. So it will be very easy for us to decide on that. But all we have to do is to consult VP Leni. So we should be able to do that before the end of the filing of the certificates of candidacy.
Okay. And Justice, is the coalition inclined to endorse a full slate of senatorial candidates for 2022?
Yes, I think we will endorse a full slate.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mick. Our next reporter po is from GMA7, Ms. Sandra Aguinaldo. Sandra?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, and maybe this question may also be answered by Attorney Calleja, kasi nga po na-mention nyo kanina na unity talks will still continue, meaning kayo po mismo, you'll still engage other potential candidates, sir?
Well, we continue, but the unity talks will now be led by VP Leni if she accepts the nomination of the 1Sambayan. She will lead the unity talks already.
And this will be for the purpose, sir, of finding a vice presidential candidate and senatorial candidates. Gano'n na lang po ba yun? Or pwede pa pong mismong si Vice President Leni ay hindi po siya yung magiging kandidato eventually?
Well, we have already chosen her as our presidential candidate. I think for her vice presidential candidate, that's where the unity talks can come in, because we can invite a presidential candidate to join us as a vice president. But everything is fluid as of now, and anything can happen. So it's difficult to project or predict what will happen. Thank you.
Justice, what if VP Leni says no to your offer?
Well, we have already said that in the remote possibility that she will say no, we will reconvene. The conveners of 1Sambayan will meet again to decide what to do. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, I believe the same set of questions are also addressed to Attorney Howard Calleja.
Yes,
Attorney
sir.
Calleja, if you have anything to add, please. Thank you.
No more. I'll just go with what Justice Tony said. Of course, unity talks are ongoing, but just maybe to add in the survey issue, even if Sara Duterte is ahead in the surveys, Sara might have the numbers in the surveys, but winning elections is not going through the surveys or going through the numbers. Winning elections is done through character, capability, integrity, honesty, all of which Vice President Leni has, and all of which would be the spark to bring us the votes come May 2022. So I guess pag dinala po natin sa numero ng survey, pwede ho si Sara, pero hindi naman survey ho ang magpapanalo sa eleksyon sa Mayo 2022. Kung hindi, ang katangian ng isang leader, sinabi ko na nga, capability, patriotism, integrity, honesty. At yun po, sama-sama po, lahat po, meron po. At nakikita po natin, nakatangian po ni VP Leni. Salamat po.
Thank you very much po. Our next reporter po, Gabriel Lalo of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Po, anybody can answer po. Regarding pa rin dun sa questions on whether VP Leni wouldn't accept the nomination of 1Sambayan. What if, kasi po kahapon may na-float na idea na baka tumakbo siya as Vice President. What if that scenario unfolds? Anong next step po ng 1Sambayan?
Well, as I said, we will reconvene and decide what to do. We have not thought of that possibility because we think it's quite remote. But under our rules, we will reconvene and discuss it.
Okay. Sir, is it possible that Sambayan would choose among the candidates they previously nominated for president, if in case VP Leni runs for vice president?
Well, as I said, that will be discussed by the Sambayan. It will be premature for me to speculate what the Sambayan will decide because we're a big group. We're 24, 25 members. We also consult the General Assembly. So we'd like to leave this issue on the basis that we have offered. We have nominated, we have chosen VP Leni as our standard bearer, and we hope that she will accept. And she said that she is willing to face the public again in an election to prevent the return of dictatorship and the regime of plunderers. So we are hopeful that she will accept. Thank you.
Thank you very much po.
Okay, thank you very much, Gabriel. Our next po, Mr. Janvic Mateo. Janvic.
Good afternoon, Justice.
Philippine Star.
Have you reached out to Mayor Isko after you made the decision? Because I understand that there were reports before saying that he agreed to abide by the Sambayan process in the selection. So does that mean that he would abide by your decision? And did he convey a particular message saying that he will no longer run because he's abiding by your process in selecting a candidate?
We have not yet received any reaction from Mayor Isko, but that is correct. Under our process, those who join our process agree that they will support whomever we decide, and they will not run against the candidate that we will decide to run to be our standard bearer. However, of course, that is just a moral obligation. You cannot legally enforce that. So that's a matter of honoring what you have committed verbally. But we would like to leave it at that. We don't want to nitpick on that. That's understood among the candidates already. Thank you.
How about among the members of Sambayan? Are you concerned about the possibility that those who supported Mayor Isko, considering that he plans to still file for presidency, would break away from the group and the decision to endorse VP Leni?
Well, when we put together Sambayan, we committed that we will support the decision of the majority, that we will support what is, if we follow the process, and we have followed the process. And we expect everybody to respect that decision. So I'm hopeful that because we came together under the on the basis that we have to be united in order to win, I hope that we will all stay together. So far, we have been together up to this point, and I think that we can remain united. Thank you.
Last na lang po, on the issue of winnability. how did the conveners, paano yung naging discussion among the conveners for you to decide that Vice President Leni has the winnability factor considering yung standing niya ngayon sa surveys? Ano pa yung ibang factors na consider ng conveners with regard to winnability of the VP?
Well, we are aware that surveys at this point of the year are not really reflective of actual election results, and that's historical. That's the empirical data. You cannot argue against that. A lot of things will happen, and the surveys at this time of the year were taken before VP Leni has been endorsed by 1Sambayan, before VP Leni has proclaimed or has declared to run. So a lot of things will change, in fact. So the surveys cannot dictate what we will do, because the surveys at this point of the year are not really indicative of anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice. Salamat po.
All right, thank you very much po. Ang susunod po magtatanong ay si Mike Santos. Mike, please state your media company po para ma-acknowledge. Thank you.
Okay, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Mike Santos from Subic Bay Pillars, the Pinaweekly Online. Sir, tanong ko lang po, although sa umpisa pa lang alam naman na po natin na malino na po sa atin na opposition si Leni Robredo at siya po yung malamang na bitbitin talaga ng 1Sambayan. Bukas po ba tayo doon sa anggulo na pwedeng i-package ni Vice Leni yung straight party, for example, from presidential to vice president hanggang sa senator?
Yes, the 1Sambayan and I think VP Leni would want to have a complete slate. I mean, it will not be good if we don't have a complete slate. We will have a complete slate.
Okay, yun lang po. Maraming salamat po.
Okay po, thank you. Ang susunod naman pong magtatanong ay si Miss Camille Samonte from News 5. Camille?
Yes. Justice, I just want to ask, for VP, kasama po ba si former Senator Antonio Trillanes sa list or yung pinagpipilian po na possibility as katandem po ni Vice President Leni Robredo?
Yes, well, in the survey, Senator Trillanes was in the list, and in fact, he topped the list of possible VP candidates. But as I have said, we will have to discuss with VP Leni her complete slate.
Sir, since top choice din itong si Trillanes, isa rin ba siya sa, if in case nga po na mag-decline ito si VP Leni Robredo sa inyong nomination, isa rin ba siya sa kino-consider na pwede namang maging presidential nominee?
Well, as I said, we will reconvene and discuss that, because that's a new development, and we have not really looked into that, because personally, I think it's a very remote possibility that VP Leni will decline.
Thank you po, sir.
Alright, thank you very much po. Ang susunod naman pong magtatanong ay si Ms. Jesset Enano of The Inquirer.
Maraming salamat po. Good afternoon po, Justice Carpio.
Good afternoon.
I'd just like to confirm po, kasi po yung process po of 1Sambayan for this is essentially through the polls po, but you also mentioned earlier that yung mga conveners po yung pumoto. So I'd just like to confirm that process po of choosing VP Leni as your standard bearer, was it merely just the reflection of the surveys, or did it eventually boil down to the decision po of the conveners? Thank you.
Well, we announced very early on that we have many criteria, and one of them is the preference of our members. And to get the preference of our members, we conducted this internal survey. And the other criteria are, one, that the candidate has integrity, competence, track record, patriotism, and a vision for the country. And so we did not choose based on popularity alone. We did not choose based on preference of our members alone. We base it on all of these factors. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jessup. Now, para naman po sa mga nag-post ng mga katanungan nila sa Facebook, no, babasahin ko lamang po. Marami na pong nagpo-post ng kanilang mga tanong sa Facebook at sa ating YouTube account. Ito po ang kanilang mga katanungan. Una po, why VP Leni? Yesterday's survey showed her still at the tail end among presidential candidates. What about Leni that made Isambayan choose her as the contender for the presidency despite constant low survey rating?
Well, as I said, in our own internal survey among our members, she topped our internal survey. Second, the surveys by Pulse Asia, SWS, and the others at this time of the year are not reflective of actual results in the election. Historical yan. You look at all the presidential elections, those who led in the surveys at this time of the year miserably lost in the election. So you cannot predict based on the surveys alone who will emerge as winner in May 2022. Thank you.
Okay. Second question po, what will happen to Senator Trillanes and Mayor Isko? Sino po sa kanila ang pwedeng mag-VP according to Isambayan standards? Or is one of them going to be drafted as VP?
Well, with respect to Senator Trillanes, he was also in the running for vice president and senator, so he could be either, depending on the decision of Isambayan and VP Leni if she accepts our nomination. As to Mayor Isko Moreno, we still have to hear from him. Thank you.
Can VP Leni daw po pick someone na hindi naging kandidato ng Isambayan pero gusto niyang mag-tandem bilang vice presidente?
That is possible because we give deference to the presidential candidate because she is the head of the team and that is his or her vice presidential teammate. So we give deference, but of course we have a big say also. It will be subject to discussion, and if the person was not one of those that we took into account during the survey or during our previous discussions, we can always go back to the General Assembly and the conveners to get their opinion. Thank you.
What if VP Leni chooses you, Justice Carpio, to be her vice president? Are you willing daw po to take this challenge for the nation? Because you mentioned that VP Leni can choose someone who is not in the Isambayan setup. So what if VP Leni chooses you to be her running mate? Are you willing to do it for the nation?
I have already said that that will be in conflict with my role as chair of Isambayan because I cannot choose myself. When I accepted this role, I was asked if I was running. I said no, I'm not. I had no plans of running, so I accepted this role. So I will have to decline because there is a conflict of interest. Thank you.
Another question po from Raymond Antonio of Manila Bulletin. Hello, may isang question lang po kami tungkol sa internal survey ng Isambayan. Pwede po bang malaman ang top 3 sa President, Vice President at top 12 ng mga senador? Thank you po.
We can have that. We can meet to whether to release the top 3 or the top 4. But all I can say now is that VP Leni topped the survey for president. Thank you.
Okay. Another question po from a Facebook user through our messenger. You said, Justice Tony, that Isko and Trillanes agreed to be under Isambayan process. now that Mayor Isko already declared his candidacy, yet Isambayan chose VP Leni, does this mean that he will still agree to accept VP Leni as president? What are the possible scenarios here daw po?
Those who joined our process, VP Leni, Mayor Isko, and Senatorial, agreed that whoever is chosen by Sambayan will be the candidate, and all the rest will support him or her who is chosen. But that did not prevent them from declaring their candidacies, because you can declare your candidacy to gather support, but if you were not chosen at the end, you can always withdraw and support whoever is chosen by Sambayan. So there is no conflict. So it's up to Senator Trillanes and Mayor Isko whether to honor their commitment. We cannot enforce that. It's a matter of it's just a moral obligation, really. It's not a legal obligation. Thank you.
Okay. Another question po. If VP Leni decides on the last day of filing of COCs to run for president, then what happens to the whole slate? Isn't that too late as well to come up with a senatorial slate po?
Well, we hope that will not happen. VP Leni knows that will be difficult because, of course, we have to form our slate. If she decides to run, she will make that decision early on because she has to complete her slate. Because if you're running, you have to complete your slate. Otherwise, you'll be crippled. So I think she will make that decision early. Thank you.
What if daw po some of the senators under Mayor Isko are also the same senators that who wanted to follow Isambayan process, yet Mayor Isko did not follow the process by declaring as president? Will Isambayan still support the senators under Mayor Isko?
Well, first of all, we do not know if those senators will be in our list. So it will be speculative of me to discuss that. We still have to meet to form the Senate slate. Thank you.
Okay. There's a question din po from our Zoom participants from Blanche Ancla of Vera Files. What does the youth arm of Isambayan say of VP Robredo's presidential nomination? Are they eyeing other candidates to endorse as Robredo's potential VP should she decide to accept nomination?
Well, as I said, the VP of our presidential candidate will be decided by Isambayan in consultation with our presidential candidate. So we will sit down with VP Leni the moment she accepts our endorsement. We will sit down with her immediately to discuss the complete slate. And we hope to form that in time for the filing of the certificates of candidacy. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, meron pa pong isang nagtataas ng kamay dito sa ating Zoom. Mick Flores of AFP. Mick?
Yeah, just to clarify, because earlier you said that you expect VP Leni to give her response anytime soon. So, how will Isambayan and VP Leni handle the announcement? Will you be jointly announcing her acceptance of your endorsement, or will she separately declare her presidential candidacy? And I understand she's in Bicol right now. Will she declare in her home province?
Well, we will meet and we will decide how the announcement will be made. It can be because that is her acceptance. So normally that statement, that announcement should come from her. Thank you.
Okay, and Justice, have you gauged the local support for VP Leni in case she decides to run for the presidency? Because that's also crucial in your campaign. If there is grassroots support for the vice president.
Well, that is the reason why we conducted an internal survey. We have over We have about 3 million members nationwide, here in the Philippines and abroad. And we conducted that internal survey. And among the coalition, she has definitely grassroots support. She topped the list. She topped the survey. So we will start from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you.
Okay, so any parting words, Justice Tony, before we formally close this afternoon's program?
Well, thank you to media for attending this press conference. We have Isambayan was formed to choose a unified candidate, and we have this day chosen VP Leni. We expect her to accept our endorsement, and we will soon be forming the complete slate. And we ask the entire Filipino people to support us in this endeavor, because we want to bring back good governance to our country. Our country has been suffering tremendously. We are in the bottom list of countries that have the resiliency to recover, and the economy is in terrible shape. So we have to really work together to elect a team, President, Vice President, and senators to put our house in order. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justice Tony. At dyan po nagtatapos ang ating tapatan ngayong araw. Bukas po ay Oktubre na po, simula na po ng filing of certificates of candidacy. Abangan po natin ang mga developments sa mga susunod na araw. Salamat po ng marami sa ating mga kapatid sa media. Sa muli, isang mapagpalayang hapon sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Isambayan. Leni is my president.
Thank you, Isambayan. Leni is my president.
Salamat, Isang Bayan. Si Leni ang aking Pangulo.
Salamat, Isang Bayan. Si Leni ang aking Pangulo.
Salamat, Gid, Isang Bayan. Si Leni ang akong presidente.
Thank you, Isang Bayan. Leni is my president.
Leni is my president.
Leni is our president.
Salamat, Isang Bayan. Leni is my president.
Salamat, Isang Bayan. Leni is my president.
Salamat, Sambayanan. Leni is my president.
Thank you, Sambayan. Leni is our president. Woo!
Thank you, Sambayan. My president is Leni.